on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights? Making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights? Through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 109 of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over this here fine world. Tonight, it is another Thursday night, is the 18th of November, 2021. Again, this is episode 109, and we don't have a whole lot to talk about. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to review a few things, review some talk points from the last 2 weeks, because I'm very proud of our charity efforts for 2 specific BV events that have happened over the last weekend. So I do want to touch on that. I'm going to open the phone lines here. If anybody that is on the line chat that wants to dump in and have a chit chat with me for a little bit here tonight, you don't have to worry about video. It can just be audio, and we'll hang out and talk for a few minutes about what's on your mind. We can do that if anybody wants to, but we'll open that up in just a few minutes. Well, thank you very much for being here. You have chosen to join me and those handful of people here on a Thursday night. And we're just going to hang out tonight. This is the weekly fun thing. It is also my youngest child's birthday today. She is turning 7 today, and what an amazing little soul, little girl that she is. She has been such a blessing in our lives, and every day I get to wake up, because I as most of you know, I'm Mr. Mom. So every day I get to wake up and see her smiley face, and she is just amazing. Most of you guys know I've not been, I don't talk about it a whole bunch here, but occasionally it comes up and we talk about it. But we have I have two of my 4 kids are special needs, and my youngest, Skylar, who is our 7-year-old today, she has Down syndrome, and she's an awesome, just super magnet of energy and of smiles, and we can't even imagine life, what life was like for her. So, and it's fun for her older siblings as well. They are much older, so it's just a fun time. And so now today was Barbie Day and a few other things, and she's just been having a blast, and lots and lots of songs. She loves to sing happy birthday to anybody who's around. It doesn't matter if it's your birthday or not. If there is a birthday around, she likes to sing it to you. So it's been happy birthday to me, happy birthday. She was singing happy birthday to me on my birthday over the phone, since I couldn't be with her on my birthday. But then she was singing happy birthday to me when I got home. She's been singing happy birthday to me all day while we've been singing happy birthday back to her. It's just been awesome. It's been awesome. So that's been a lot of my fun day today. So it's being that we've had, my family actually has, including my own, my family actually has like 4 different birthdays in this 1 week. So it's kind of a crazy time. And yeah, so this past week, after getting back from a weekend of madness and fun down in southern Indiana at Battle of the Beards, come back home and just have lots to do, lots to recoup, lots to get ready for the week, for this following week. I went down and got to help out made some plans to help my dad out at the family lake house, get some outside stuff done before the weather completely turns on us. And so my oldest son and I, we went down and did some mowing, trimming, leaf raking, leaf blowing, all that other stuff to help Grandpa out. Almost fell into the lake once, trying to get trying to get some pipes loosened up that were on a little bit of a blower. So, yeah, it's been a time. And then come to find out, when we try to leave the lake house, which is actually about an hour and 15 minutes away from my house, when we try to leave the house, I'm getting ready to pull out of the driveway, and I get a notification on my dashboard that one of my rear tires is excessively low all of a sudden. So must have run over something. I went over and looked at it. Sure enough, there's a big nail sticking in it, right in the middle of the tread. So that's good because it could be patched. Bad because my options were limited at that hour of the day to try and find some place to patch it for me. And I just didn't want to get out the whole jack and get the spare tire out and try and mess with that. So I limped it over to the nearest Walmart, which is about 5 miles away. And there I sat for the next 2 hours waiting for them to be able to patch my tire. One of those things that it just seemed like it was a lot longer than it should have been, but I'm grateful that they fit me in. So beggars can't be choosers, I guess, at that point. So that's been my week. And then rolling into the birthday prep for this here fine day, and got to hang out with some of the boys from Northern Indiana. Met a couple new guys. Met one new guy. Met up with another one of our supporters. We had a good gathering of about 8 or 9 of us hanging out last night at a local establishment. Always fun to be able to do that and just have that impromptu bro time. And that's been the week so far. So good times. Hope everybody else that's listening to this has had some time to hang out with some friends, family, loved ones, brothers, whatever it is, and continues to do so. I'm going to say hello to those people who are here live right now, just hanging out with us. The Bearded Irishman was the first one to chime in today. How you doing, Mr. Irishman? He is currently in and out of the broadcast and chat because he says he'll be in and out because he's gaming with old Frankie and Savvy. So from the 2 boys over in Nova. I'm sure he's having a good time. I asked him what game they were playing, and he never responded, so that must have been during one of his out periods when he just popped right in real quick to say he was going to be in and out, and then went right back to the gaming. So I don't know. I never heard which game they were playing, but not that it would help if I knew that, because I'm not a big gamer anyway. I'm one of those guys that, as I've told y'all before, I'm Atari 2600 back in the day. If you give me one joystick and a badly pixelated character, I'm good to go. I'll do that for hours. But the new fancy stuff where you are supposed to be able to anticipate and turn a 360 and it's all true to form movements and everything like that, I get killed in the first 5 seconds if it's one of those first-person shooter games or anything like that. So I like some of the other ones, though. Well, all right, so we were in there. Bearded Irishman. Nick is in the house. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Big Mike is saying what's up and telling us that he's good and pleasant day in Carolina. Love to see that. K-Mac from the ENC. What is happening, buddy? How you doing? Travis is hanging out with us as well. Good to see you here. Same old. He says he's pulling the night shift at the peanut plant. That's never, hey, it's work, man. It's work, right? Night shift at the peanut plant. Just hanging out with us. Just hang out with us. Glad that you can at least chime in. Mr. ENC says, just pulled 12 at the soup factory. We got the peanut plant and the soup factory. That sounds like some sort of a cat on the hot tin roof type of book, right? Something like that. I don't know. I could have just been butchering whatever it was I was trying to say there, trying to sound all smart. But anyway, good to see you guys here. I do appreciate it. As I said before, anybody that is listening right now live, if you want to jump in and hang out for a few minutes live, feel free to. I'll open up the phone lines here. If you hit me up on the line chat, and I'm going to go ahead and just open that right now. If for some reason you try and can't get through, just keep trying. There's a live delay between the time that you actually hear me and the time that I'm actually talking. It's about 15 to 25 seconds, depending on where you're at in the world. So if for some reason I don't answer, maybe I'm on with somebody else, just wait a few minutes longer. But if you have found me before on line chat and you are friends with me, then you can just request a audio call, and I'll port you in here, and we'll have a little live chit chat, see how your night is going, how your day is going, wherever you are in the world. Talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. Let the listeners here chime in, whatever we're going to do. If for some reason we are not currently connected as followers, friends on line chat for some reason, all you got to do is find me and then request, and I will find you back, and we can go from there. Incidentally, it's at the bearded capital B, capital P with a little microphone after it. That's the line chat that you need for me. So while I hang out here and wait for a few minutes to see if anybody does come in, and maybe nobody does, and if nobody does, this is going to be maybe a light broadcast tonight on the lighter end. But I wanted to take a couple seconds first and mention two specific merch things. I know that there's a bunch of merch out there. Unfortunately, I've had a hard time. I had a folder that I've been trying to keep up to date with, set aside on my phone. Somehow, and I'm usually technically proficient at this stuff, so I have no idea how it happened, but somehow this folder that I had been creating disappeared. It disappeared from my phone. So I'm sure that there are some events I was trying to keep track of, like with the event posters that people posted, or I'm sorry, I keep my events in there, but I also keep the patches and the shirts and whoever's doing merch items in there, those releases. And for some reason, like I said, that folder disappeared. I'm not sure, I haven't been able to find it yet. So if you have merch that your chapter is trying to sell for sale for some charity purposes or anything like that, just give me a shout out, and I will make sure I get it on for next week. Unfortunately, I've only got a couple right now. I know, to my knowledge, I checked into this earlier today, and I believe it is still available. This is something that's still going on, to my knowledge. And as you know, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Hollywood, a brother from North Texas, passed away, and they have done a In Memory of Hollywood patch with a numbered card that's going to be going with that. And this, due to his military service and whatnot, they designed this patch with a submarine in mind, and says In Memory of Hollywood. There's $15 on these memory patches. Looks like there's only going to be 100 made. So you can donate and get one of these patches. Or if you want to, you can you can just go online and just do a donation to the family. All that money is going to be going to his family that they raised from either the patches or just a direct donation. So shows on here. If you go to northtexasvillains.bigcartel.com, you can check in there, and they'll have places for you both to buy the patch, or like I said, if you just want to do like a $5 donation to the family, you can do that. And the cool thing is it's set up with Apple Pay. So you can also check out with Apple Pay if you want to. So try that and see how that works if you're able to do that. But to my knowledge, they still have some of those patches out there available. So definitely check those out. And then I've kind of held off the last few weeks of mentioning this, but just because there were other things that were more important to cover. But I did want to mention this because some people have asked me. I do have a handful, a very small number of these still available. If you did not get one yet and you want one, reach out to me. Go out there to theheartofavillain.bigcartel.com and grab one of these bad boys. The 100th episode patch that we made up. It's in a bright metallic gold. You'll get a numbered card with it. But awesome stuff. These will not be made again. And everybody that's seen these patches just screams for them. They were shocked at the how cool they ended up. I loved them. I fell in love with them right away when I got them in. They're so bright. That metallic gold thread, man, it really makes a difference. It makes them pop. So the one-off patch, not to be made again. Only 100 of them made. $15. There are still, like I said, a handful of those left if you are interested. So grab one of those while you can. I'm not sure how much longer they will be around. The Queen City chapter apparently is planning a diaper drive. Hopefully that is for infants, not for adults. But hey, to each their own. I mean, adults at some point in their life have to have diapers too. So I'm assuming that that's what that's for. So I look forward to it. Hearing more information about the Queen City Diaper Drive and what they're going to do with that, so I can get that on the calendar of events. You never know. Here's the cool thing, guys. You never know where in the world our brothers are going to be, because we have so many guys that do different things and travel for a living. And if they travel from point A to point B, you might be point C where they're not too far away from. Or you might be right in between point A and point B, and they might be able to swing by and help out on a weekend, help out on a weekday, just hang out with you guys. So it's part of the reason why I've been asking, and I keep telling everybody, keep me posted on your events, no matter how small you think they are, even if you're just helping out at some soup kitchen type of thing. It doesn't matter. If you're doing something cool, to help out for charity, let me know, and I'll get it on the board. And you never know, you might end up with a handful of people from another chapter or from a surrounding area that might want to just come and hang out because they heard about it on the podcast. And how cool would that be? How cool would that be? It's happened before. It has happened before. I have heard tale of people telling me this. That's why I say it. People tell me that, hey, I heard about this and I just happened to be over there. I've had people tell me stories of family gatherings and they were off in some other state and they were reminded that, hey, oh, you know what? I think this chapter over here might be doing something on Saturday. I'm going to swing over and hang out and see. Sure enough, they got to participate in the event. So never put it past yourself. Let me know when these things are going on. So Big Mike has chimed back in and said, yes, it's all infants and they're looking for wipes as well. So, good to know. Good to know. Thank you for keeping me posted on that. Look forward to getting full details when the time comes. So, as I mentioned before, guys, the ladies and gentlemen, I always say guys. I don't know. There might be some women out there listening too. As I mentioned before, last weekend we went down for many of us here in Indiana, went down to southern Indiana for Battle of the Beards. And Battle of the Beards, this is the 4th year for Battle of the Beards, and it was yet another smash success. As we've talked about in the past, Battle of the Beards is a anniversary/beard competition for the southern Indiana chapter, and the proceeds have always gone toward some relation to veteran charities in some way, shape, or form. And this year was no different. This year, they partnered with the same organization that oversaw and continues to oversee the recipient from the years past, the last 2 years, the Gresham House. And so this time out, they went back and they were donating money to the same organization, but for a different facility that does some similar work, but drastically needs their help financially. So they were able to raise a really great sum of money from the weekend. But there was a catch. There was a catch, and we learned about it. We learned about it a little bit during our interview with Crash from last weekend's episode, if you recall, when we were talking with him about Beards Away. And in the process of learning about Beards Away, which was the beard competition that the Virginia chapter of the Bearded Villains was hosting the same weekend. And Beards Away was also a success, had lots of attendance, raised lots of money. But we learned in talking with Crash that there was going to probably be some kind of friendly wager between that event, Beards Away, and Battle of the Beards with Southern Indiana, trying to put a friendly wager on whose chapter, whose event would raise most money. Well, the gauntlet was laid down. All of the comments were thrown about, and I was actually present when Popeye from Southern Indiana went live to further challenge the Beards Away gentlemen from Virginia, to further challenge them and say, and that was the first time that most of the people down there in Southern Indiana knew about this challenge. And so the challenge was laid down officially again and reminded of. Well, after all was said and done from the weekend, after all the entry fees, after all the prizes, after all of the auction items came through, all the donations, we came through with an amazing weekend of charity efforts. And what's really crazy is apparently the dollar amounts raised by both of these organizations, by both events, the dollar amount raised was within $200 of each other. I don't know what the odds are for that. I mean, usually you might think they're going to be within $1,000, right? But to be within only $200 of each other, I don't know if that's just crazy odds or if somebody's just trying to have some fun with things or what. Mr. Puzzle Man, Hector coming in here with the googly eyes. Of course you knew. He says, and birthday cakes. Yes, there were birthday cake. There was a birthday cake, a very large one. So when push came to shove and all the numbers were rung up, all the numbers were tabulated, and no, it wasn't tabulated by Ernst & Young or any one of those fancy tabulators. Nope, nothing like that. But when the numbers came back, we learned that the Battle of the Beards raised $7,100 for veteran charities. $7,100. And Beards Away event raised $7,300. $200, it seems, more than Battle of the Beards. So the wager supposedly was that the chapter that lost would donate $100 toward the charity efforts of the winning charity. So I'm assuming that happened. But Battle of the Beards, $7,100. Beards Away, $7,300. Math that out, folks. And that's an easy math. I can do that in my head. I don't even have to write that one down. And I'm terrible at math. Math that out. $14,400 raised by two different events for charity, for veterans charity efforts this weekend by Bearded Villains and everybody who went there. Now, it needs to be said, it definitely needs to be said that these events are, while they are put on by the Bearded Villains, while they are hosted by the Bearded Villains, one of the things I think that I'm trying to do a better job of, and one of the things that needs to be said on a routine basis, is that it's not just us. It's not just the bearded villains. It is all of the other people that aren't bearded villains coming to support as well. We had, I think at one count, trying to determine how many different beard clubs were represented. I know at Battle of the Beards, I think there was an upwards of between 7 and 9 clubs, beard and mustache clubs, represented at that event. We had guys from as far away from as Texas come up and participate in the event. Multiple states traveled. And I know that from what I understand, Beards Away was similar. That's amazing. That it just shows the reach, not only of what we as bearded villains can do, but the bearded community, the support that the bearded community can get for each other when charity is on the line. And one of the things that we have got to do better, in my opinion, one of the things that we've got to do better is, yes, we can be prideful. We can be proud of the brotherhood that we stand for. We can be proud of the bearded villains, and we should be. But we also need to recognize those other beard clubs that are out there doing similar efforts. There are many other beard clubs out there, and you know how many there are in your area. Some areas have quite a few more than others. But they host their own beard competitions. These other clubs will participate in many, many other beard competitions than we will over the course of a year. For some of these organizations and these clubs, that's all they do is weekend to weekend to weekend, they go out and participate in beard competitions to raise money for charity. And they do that 15 to 20 weekends out of a year, just going to this, that, and the other clubs. It's amazing. The reach, the effort that the bearded community, the bearded supportive community, whatever you want to call it, that's out there. Those who love people with beards, those who support men with beards, mustaches, facial hair, the facial hair clubs, however you want to mention it. It's huge. And yes, absolutely be proud of the bearded villains. I am wholeheartedly. I think that the bearded villains offer something that is unique. But I also recognize the fact that the bearded villains aren't for everybody. Not everybody has the time. Not everybody has the desire, and instead wants to do something else. They choose to join a different avenue, and that's great. But we also need to recognize the fact that these other clubs out there are killing it. These other clubs are killing it as well. So when we start to think about, when we start to look at what we can possibly do, when we start to think about what event, when we decide to host an event, we did it this year for our chapter, our very first event. When we start to host, when we start to go out and look around, and do not forget to add in invites to all of these other clubs. You're gonna find some cool people out there, I'm telling you. We don't have to pigeonhole these things into just bearded villain. We are a better bearded community when we open the doors. We are a better bearded community and with charitable efforts and charitable hearts when we open the doors and we let other people in and we accept them and we realize what they can bring, the value that they have. It's very, very easy. It's very, very easy. I've noticed this myself because I've seen it firsthand. It's very easy to let our pride in what we represent, in what the bearded villains in our case. It's very easy to sit on that and be prideful of it and just sit there with it and remain closed off from other people that you don't know. We like to say that whenever we come together, we don't know a stranger, right? When the bearded villains come together, we don't know a stranger. You're brothers, and you do anything for them. And if that means if it's the 100th time you've met somebody, or if it's the first time you've met somebody, and that's all fine and well. But we can't put ourselves in the mud together and just say we're going to sit by this group of people and not acknowledge all of these other people out there that are some really cool individuals doing some really amazing things. So one of the things that I want to encourage us, that I want to encourage the bearded villains as a whole, anybody that's listening to this podcast, one of the things that I want us to focus very hard on over the course of this next year, specifically, we are going to be hosting a bunch of other competitions, beard competitions, over the course of the next year. At first glance, when I start thinking about what's already on the calendar for this year, for 2022, I can think of at least 10 different competitions that are being hosted by Bearded Villain chapters. And I know there's going to be more. Do not do yourself or your organization or your charity the disservice of not inviting and including these other bearded communities, these other beard clubs, the facial hair clubs in the areas. Reach out, open the doors, and say, hey, this is us. Come join us. And on top of that, don't forget to reach out and support them at their events, just like any other Bearded Villain event you'd go to. If you have the ability and it's not a Bearded Villain hosted event, just still go. Just like they're going to ours. Just like they're going to our events. We'd love to see that. It would absolutely be awesome. We need to come together and recognize that there is no one that is superior. We like the Bearded Villains because we are Bearded Villains. But the community as a whole can do some amazing things when we come together. 100%. We definitely want to remember, obviously, as I'm looking back in the comments here, Travis points out, obviously, Queens and Villainettes. Yes, the Queens and Villainettes are also hugely supportive, and we can't forget to thank them. We can't forget to thank our spouses, our husbands, wives, everybody else that's out there that supports us. 100%. As I'm looking through the notes, I'm sorry. A little dead air there. Yes, Puzzle Man, to your comment, I do remember. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being able to push that agenda over the next year. I'm looking forward to being able to acknowledge, recognize, and promote events on this podcast that are charity related, that may be hosted by organizations and clubs not specifically affiliated with Bearded Villains as well. I will be starting to include some of those, as you'll notice over the course of the next several weeks when I hear about them. Because like I said, this is a whole agenda change. This is a whole thing that needs to be done. We need to recognize these other clubs and support them when we can, just like we expect and we hope that they would be willing to come support us. Each one has their own story. Each one has their own desires, their own wishes for helping out whatever organization is that that they've chosen for their charity drive. And I think at the core of what we like to say that we represent with Bearded Villains, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's what it needs to be about. Anyway, so that's my soapbox moment. But yeah, Battle of the Beards, Beards Away, $14,400 raised this past weekend between two events. That's pretty incredible, really. Very, very, very cool stuff. All right. And in that vein of what I just said, one of the things that I want to mention, as I've been scrolling through, I'm not sure. I'm going to try. Those of you who are live viewers, you'll get to see this firsthand and see if this works. As far as the live aspect of things go, and this could be terrible when push comes to shove here. I'm going to try to bring up a page that if you do not belong to it already, I would recommend you try to go out and I joined it. It's a page on Facebook, if you do Facebook anyway. But if you do Facebook, there's a page that you can go out onto, and it's a bulletin board basically that you can go out to, and gives you all sorts of information, all sorts of cool information about other clubs doing other events, and that's what it is. It's a bulletin board. One of the things that I learned today about this on this bulletin board was that I wanted to say congratulations to the Beard Mob Washington chapter. The Beard Mob, obviously, is one of those organizations that's out there that's another facial hair club. The Beard Mob Washington raised more than $2,500 for Tour of Duty from Apple Valley Battle of their Beards. They have apparently an event there that's called Apple Valley Battle of the Beards. They raised more than $2,500 for Tour of Duty. So congratulations to you guys. Awesome stuff. Great job getting stuff out there. And let's see what we can do here. One of the other surprises I could show you. You get a kick out of this if I can bring it up. Apparently, I'm not able to bring in, let's see here. It did not show up as a device. I was going to try to show you. So if you're live, I'll try to show you here on my phone. It's called BS Buttons Beard Bulletin Board. So if you search for it, BS Buttons, just like it sounds, BS Buttons, Buttons, Beard Bulletin Board. It's from the group. There's a group out there called Talking Beards, if you're not familiar with them. But if you go out there, you can request to be a part of this chat room and this bulletin board. And it has all sorts of information on here that's free for people to post from different organizations when they have events. Congratulations on doing this, that, and the other. So very cool stuff. But get out there, and I've seen some really neat things on there from different facial hair clubs since I became one of the members there. So this was fun, and kind of was a big surprise to me from this past weekend. I'll share if you're live right now looking on the screen. Yes, from Battle of the Beards on my birthday, I was very fortunate. I placed first in this category. This was the 4 to 8 inch beard competition category, full natural beard 4 to 8 inch. Kind of cool. I was very excited to see on your birthday. Hey, it's a great present, right? 4 to 8 inch. What was funny, this was the funny story about this whole thing, was that they offered up the opportunity for you, the way that they do this beard competition with Battle of the Beards. They offer up the ability for you to enter into multiple categories. And so they actually have a 4 to 8 inch full natural beard, and then they have a 4 to 8 inch what they called, it wasn't styled, but it was groomed, I think is what they called it. Groomed. So you could use with product in it and style it up a little bit if you wanted to. But they Puzzle Man, come on now. He says, you destroyed me. No, I don't think so. I think I just got lucky. I think this was definitely possibly a situation where it was my birthday and they thought, hey, let's be nice to old BP on his birthday. Maybe that had something to do with that. I don't know. But I was thankful nonetheless. But so I entered into the full beard natural, which basically was, I had some, he says, you're welcome, by the way. I had some beard oil in there, but nothing that would specifically, cater to actually sculpting or anything like that. Just for management of the beard per se. But then I entered into the groomed category. So I very quickly rushed back to my table and threw some beard product in there. No more oil, but I put some beard balm in there. And I think I even put I put some butter and some balm, both, I think maybe, to style it up and give it a little bit more poofiness to it, a little bit, bring it in a little bit softer, bring it toward the middle a little bit, and let the bottom of it kind of dangle a little bit lower, and have it comb it out a little bit so it had some shape to it rather than just straight down like a beard would be, and jumped up in there for the groom category. And I didn't even place in that category. So, but hey, you know what it is? Maybe they knew that I was going to place in the one and didn't want, I don't know how that works, but the guys that were in the groomed category had some very nice beards themselves. So I'm not saying that was definitely deserved. I got, as best I can tell, I got 4th place in that category because I was asked to come back up to be relooked at by the judges, along with Gator, our brother, our motivational brother from Southern Indiana. When he and I both went up there, and I knew it's hysterical because it's probably about the 3rd or 4th time that I've done a beard competition with that I've been in the same category as Gator, and we end up going back up, being called back up for the two of us to be relooked at for some final judging because of a tie. And so and every time it's happened that way, the result was always the same. I always end up the one spot behind him. So when I saw that happen, I knew, okay, it's happening again, and I'm just out of the competition series for this size. So that's fine. But congratulations to everybody else that participated and won their awards and different things. Some really impressive beards there at Battle of the Beards. From the pictures I've seen from Beards Away, they also had their own very, very impressive grouping of beards that were there for their event as well. So, yeah, that's all the stuff. I can't get to bring up this thing, so I wish I could, so I could show you guys firsthand, bring it up on the screen to show you what this is, but unable to currently do it right now. So we'll just leave it at that. BS Buttons bulletin board is the place to go if you wanted to. So let's take care of this real quick. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm looking forward to doing a few different things over the course of the next, say, handful of episodes. When I say handful, I'm talking probably 10 or so episodes. I'm going to be asking for some assistance, not necessarily directly online during the time of the episode. So those of you who are loyal listeners to the show, please pay attention to the Instagram page. Please pay attention to Twitter page. Yes, there is a Twitter page. Not very active, but just pay attention to the social media pages for the podcast, because I will be asking specific questions, and I'm going to be using the answers that you guys, that people that do provide answers with. I wish that more people would take a pause and just take a few seconds to answer some of these questions. But I'm going to use some of these questions and the answers that you guys provide me with as kind of a gauge where I can do some things a little bit different, not necessarily to shake things up, but just to incorporate a few other avenues within the podcast and with the different episodes. So I've got some ideas, some things that I want to do, different, I guess you could say, would be packages or just different little segments within the show to break things up and do a few different segments. And they'd be just periodic. Some episodes would have them, some wouldn't. But I've got some ideas, and I want to reach out and get your take on a few things. If you guys have any specific ideas that you want, that you want to see, if you have some ideas for the podcast, I've told you before, don't hold back. Don't hold back if you've got ideas. If you've got ideas, shout them out to me. If you've got people you want to hear from, ideas you want to hear from, by all means, please shout it out and let me know. But just pay attention. You'll see those coming down the pike here in the next several weeks. Those questions coming out. Big shout out also to just joined in, Christy and Mark. How you doing, Christy and Mark? Mark, you'll notice. Will you notice for me the hat I am wearing? One of my most comfortable and happiest hats I have, because it came from Mr. Mark Davis. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to be buying. I still have to buy a few more of these just because. Yeah, you got to love the comfy hats. Came from Mark. Love it. One of my favorites. Ironic that you're here now. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, guys. We're gonna scroll in for some of our calendar of events now. If for some reason I'm missing something, it's your fault, not mine. Not really, but I'll claim it is because I don't have it. And if I don't have it, I can't say it. So I look where I can, but if you don't share your events with me, I don't have them. So let's take it off. November 26th to the 28th is the Cajun Beard Bash. Coming up in a couple weeks, the Cajun Beard Bash, hosted by the Bearded Villains, Louisiana. It is the largest, not the world's, it is the largest beard competition in Louisiana. The largest beard competition in Louisiana. There's vendors, prizes, food, music, all sorts of good stuff. I can imagine the food's going to be awesome. Cajun Beard Bash, hosted by the Bearded Villains, Louisiana, November 26th to the 28th. There is also an event coming up. It's sold out, so I don't know why I'm going to tease you with it. But if you're over in Central England, December 3rd through the 5th, Beardingham 2021, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Central England. It's sold out. Last I checked, you had to have tickets a while back, and they sold out quickly. So I guess nanny boo-boo if you can't go. As you would say when you were a little kid. You missed out. Don't miss out next year. January 8th, we're going into 2022. January 8th, the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains host their 4-year anniversary in beard competition. It's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and it benefits Hinderless 22. Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains, their 4-year anniversary in beard competition, January 8th. Then February 25th to the 27th, we don't have any details specifically on this right now, but it's coming up. LSV 5. It's returning to North Texas. That's what it's called. Return to North Texas. LSV 5. Hosted, of course, by your North Texas Villains. February 25th to the 27th. Hopefully we'll get some more details coming out soon. I also have the weekend of May 6th through the 8th, I believe. May 6th through the 8th. I do believe we're still looking at that as a Beardo de Mayo weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't have any details that those are forthcoming. We still got months to go. Beardo de Mayo, I think, was the weekend of 6th through the 8th of May. Then in June, we're going out a ways. In June 10th to the 12th, the West Coast meet in Seattle, Washington. I may have to stroll out there for that one. Never been out there. West Coast meet hosted by your bearded brothers in Western Washington and Eastern Washington. So the two chapters there coming together, West Washington and East Washington, for West Coast meet in Seattle, Washington, June 10th through the 12th. And then I will say, I'm looking here at a note. Breaking news. Breaking news. I will have to find out for next week exactly when this is and the details for it. But the Puzzle Man comes through again, coming through saying the weekend after the January 8th Smoky Mountain 4-year anniversary is the North Mississippi anniversary also. All right. So the weekend after January 8th, so that would be what, about the 15th? Of the Smoky Mountain 4-year anniversary of beard competition, you can say that the North Mississippi boys have one as well. So I will try to get that information out so I can get that included for next week. Make sure I get that on the books. Thank you very much, Puzzle Man, for staying up with us and keeping us up to date. You have an encyclopedia in your head of information regarding BV and all the good stuff. I love it. Love the way your mind works. I love your heart. I love everything that you do and that you're about. So always count on you to give me the good information and to be that person on my shoulder telling me to chill out too. We had some good conversations this weekend. Good reminders as always. Always love it. We'll talk about that there, Puzzle. We'll talk about that. So yeah, that's that information, guys. If for some reason, like I said, I missed something, I forgot to go through it, it's because I didn't have it. So we'll take it from there. Guys, if you're missing anything, if you need anything podcast related, get over, like I said, to theheartofavillain.simplecast.com, theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. That's where all that merch stuff is, where those gold patches, the handful that are still available, that's where you can still find those. heartofavillain.simplecast.com, along with all previous 108 episodes of this here podcast. Guys, that's going to wrap up episode 109. I don't have anything else. That's all I got for you. I want to challenge you, as I always do, guys, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Guys, the most important words, as I always say every week, please remember, It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So guys, for now, have a great night. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you back here next week. Enjoy the week ahead. Take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go